All right, Skinny, you saw the poll question. Best coach / manager in Cincinnati, and you want to make it right now.
Right
Who
now, as we sit here today, I'm still going to go Marvin, even though they haven't played in a few weeks. You know, you go 3 straight playoff appearances in a franchise that's had a hard time doing that. You can't do anything but tip your cap to the guy. That being said, if you really wanted to go right now in the moment, it's impossible to argue that Mick Cronin's not the guy. He has done such a good job of rebuilding that. I don't think fans really realize how hard it was from what he took over. You look at what Tom Crean did at Indiana, almost similar circumstances. And yeah, Crean got him to a certain point, Mike, and he got him up there, and then they've kind of fallen back a little bit. It's just hard to come back from what they came back from. All of those are good. I know Brian Price is the flavor of the month. He's like the backup quarterback. He has nothing to fall back on yet, right?
No, it's kind of an incomplete grade.
Exactly, exactly.
Obviously, we'll know in about, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 months.
Yep.
Let me ask you more about Cincinnati and Mick Cronin. Obviously, they get the win on Sunday over South Florida at Fifth Third. But the win over Louisville on Thursday night, where the game had such an ebb and flow, and it looked for a while as if they run away with it. Then back comes Patino with the pressure, and they get back into the game, they take the lead. They showed up, not just that they're a good team, they showed a lot of moxie that night, didn't they?
Absolute mental toughness, and that's the biggest part, too. I mean, you get to March, teams are going to make runs at you. You have to be able to withstand the punch, withstand the run, and then come back on them. Honestly, when the game got back to basically tied, in my mind, I thought, well, Louisville's going to win this thing by 10, 12 points. And if I'm a UC fan, I'm probably thinking the same thing.
I was there. I was thinking the same thing.
They're going to run away and hide in this game, and instead, it flipped the opposite. That being said, the one good thing of UC being in the AAC, and this is not a knock, it's going to sound like a knock, is there's not a lot of games you have to be emotionally at that high of a level like you did back in the Big East. The recent Big East, you had to bring it every single solitary night.
Nick said it to us afterwards. Yeah, we're getting a lot of credit for beating Louisville tonight. But last year, in the last 7, 8 years, we had to play Louisville, Connecticut, Syracuse,
right, and
maybe 3 times in 8 days.
It's a goal, and you saw it today. Look, today was absolutely about a letdown, and there's no reason to think you weren't going to let down after that emotional win. And hence, South Florida kind of hung around for a little bit. In the old Big East, today's game, and granted, South Florida was in that league, today's game could have been Georgetown. It could have been Villanova. It could have been Marquette when they were good. All of those teams basically aren't very good. It could have been all of those. You couldn't afford a letdown. That's the one nice thing here is you can get emotionally peaked in certain circumstances, and I think it'll make them fresh come March, to be honest with you.
Georgetown, you mentioned them, gives me a perfect segue to our next question because Xavier beat Georgetown. Georgetown yesterday upsets Michigan State as both teams step out of conference. What's going on with X right now? Are they going to be okay? I recall a few weeks ago you said, as far as March is concerned, Musketeers might be primed for the longest, deepest run.
I still believe that, just because I think they can score the ball in multiple ways. That being said, they are not a pure jump shooting team. You saw in the segment with Brad Redford before, you've got to get Samaje Christian going to the bucket. You've got to get him in the lane. You've got to get him on the move. He's just not a jump shooter. You've got to get him diving and ducking and doing something. And they've got to use post presence. I mean, you've got some long guys in there that can attack the rim, and they need to keep doing that. Every team, look, every team goes through a funk. Every single team goes through a funk. Season. It is a long season. Yeah. You cannot be perfect. We saw with Arizona. You cannot be perfect every single night. And Xavier right now is far from perfect. They're struggling just a little bit, but I think they'll find it again.
Don't want to ignore the Super Bowl. Very quickly, yes or no answer. Did you like the outdoor, sort of cold weather Super Bowl? They dodged the bullet.
Way more than I thought it would. Yeah, they dodged the bullet. A blizzard would have been horrible, but at the end of the day, they played NFL championships games back in the day in cold weather. A lot of cold weather venues. Hence, you know what? It wasn't as bad as I think everybody thought it was going to be.
Thank you, Skinny.
Thanks.